It's peak bloom at the Tidal Basin. Join me for a walk to see its close to 4,000 Japanese cherry trees at their finest. Every year, the trees blossom for only a few days, and today they are ours. Along the way, we will also see such iconic sites as the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and Thomas Jefferson memorials. But wait, there's more! We will stop and investigate an almost 400-year-old Japanese lantern, which is one of the oldest objects you'll see on display outdoors in the city. We will take a stroll through the festive Basin welcome area and ANA stage, which connects the MLK and FDR memorials. And then there's the Tidal Basin itself. It looks like a beautiful lake, except it's not. It has a very practical function which is not obvious by looking at it, which will surprise you. We will do our best not to fall or get pushed in, and avoid getting trampled by the scores of other sightseers. Let's go!
We'll just do a pan from this corner over here.
I've had a lot of experience, a lot of things in one individual.
And continuing on.
I was cheap. So I did. After I finished my whole thing, I drove back across country. And I drove.
And once we pass this wall over here, we will be leaving the FDR Memorial. We're going to continue our way around, and there is the Jefferson Memorial in the background, but we are going that way. We will get much better views as we walk. Just not coming together in my mind. Now all this construction over here, and there's a lot more. It's even more obvious when we go over to the Jefferson Memorial. This is all to improve the seawall. So I talked before in the, okay, here's the sign over here. Rebuilding the seawalls, Tidal Basin and West Potomac Park. And it says, age and rising sea levels have taken a toll on the seawalls along the Tidal Basin and West Potomac Park. Portions of the seawalls have settled as much as 5 feet since their initial construction between the late 1800s to the early 1900s. As a result, water flows over portions of the seawalls twice a day during high tide. And it goes on. But yeah, flooding, in part one I talked about the flooding issues. Flooding is still a problem here at the Tidal Basin. In fact, I used to walk my groups right along the water, going from the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial to the FDR Memorial, and there would always be these flooded areas, and we'd have to kind of detour around and maybe even walk through some mud. And it was like, yeah, these days I just don't do that anymore. We just walk on the sidewalk. It's a lot safer anyway, so no one falls in. But yeah, flooding is a problem here. So there's this gigantic project. So you see all this equipment right here. It's a big crane. there's this gigantic project to get the seawalls rebuilt.
Oh, you know what?
And this is the bridge I told you about in part 1, where the water comes in from the Potomac River full of silt, and it just cleans. There's the Potomac River back there. So there's all this silt buildup, and it basically just comes into the tidal basin, it just filters out all of that silt, brings it into the tidal basin here, and then at night the moon itself pulls that water out another gate from another bridge, and the tidal basin refills with water. So that's how the tidal basin works. But right underneath this bridge there is a gate that is there's nobody working that gate. It is completely automatic. It is just the force of gravity that operates it and pulls, and the water just floods in. And this is the George Mason Memorial across the street. It's one of our lesser known founding fathers. And this area is known for the magnolia trees. So we can cross over and take a quick look at those. Spring means the return of cherry blossoms. That's what it says. I did a separate video about these magnolias at this memorial, so go ahead and check that one out. But I'm happy to show it to you again here, since we're here. And then there's this little guy here down at the bottom. He looks so lonely.